So how does everything in this section tie to the geometry piece of it? So we've looked at basically just how do I write the equation of a line? Well, now how am I going to tie that into what we've been looking through in terms of parallel and perpendicular lines? So how does this tie into geometry? We've been studying parallel and perpendicular lines, and we have been studying how to write the equation of a line. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how do we put those two things together. So our learning target for this one is I can write the equation of a line that is parallel or perpendicular to a given line. So if I just give you a little bit of information, you should be able to come up with the equation for a line that is either parallel to it or perpendicular. So write the equation of a line that passes through the point 5, negative 1 and is parallel to the line y equals 3x plus 4. Well, if I want a line that's parallel to y equals 3x plus 4, really the only thing I'm looking at here is its steepness. How steep is this line? That's really the only thing that I need from that equation. That is it. So the steepness here, our slope for this line is 3. Well, so now I'm asking you to write an equation of a line that goes through this coordinate and has this slope. That's all I'm asking you to do now. So ignore this. We don't need that anymore. The only reason we needed it was to get the slope from it. That was it. So now we can go back to that whole point slope, y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. So if we take the pieces that we have and plug those in, we have y minus a negative 1 equal to 3 times x minus 5. Clean this up. Y minus negative 1 gives us y plus 1. Distribute the 3, and you get 3x minus 15. Subtract the 1 from both sides, and we have our slope-intercept form. Y equal to 3x minus 16. This is the line, the equation of the line that goes through that coordinate and is parallel to that line. Now, the reason I know they're parallel is because they have the same slope. Same slope tells me same steepness, tells me parallel. Write the equation of the line that passes through the point negative 2, 3 and is perpendicular to the line y equals a half x minus 6. Now, the only thing we need from this is just the slope. That's it. That's all we need. Once we have our slope, we're done with that. So the steepness of this line is a half. But if we're looking for perpendicular, that means the steepness of our line needs to be the opposite reciprocal. The opposite reciprocal of a half tells me that the slope should be negative 2. So opposite reciprocal. Now that I have this information, I have my slope, I have my coordinate right here. We don't need any of this anymore. We have our information. We can get rid of that excess information. So let's write the equation of the line that goes through this coordinate and has this slope. So y minus 3 equal to negative 2 x minus negative 2. So we clean this up. Y minus 3 equal to, we'll distribute the negative 2, and we get negative 2x. Now, since this is a minus negative, this would actually be x plus 2. So when I distribute the negative 2, that becomes a minus 4. Get the negative 3 moved over to the other side, and we end up with y equal to negative 2x. And then when I put these two together, negative 4 and a positive 3 gives me a minus 1. This is the equation of the line that goes through this coordinate and is perpendicular to this line. Our next example, write the equation of the line that passes through the point 4, 10 and is perpendicular to the line negative 4x plus y equal to 3. Again, the only reason we need this is to get the slope. So what is the slope of that line? Well, the first thing I have to do is get it in that slope-intercept form, which means I need to take this negative 4x and move it over to the other side. So that I would have to add 4x to both sides. When I do that, I get y equal to 4x and a positive 3, 4x plus 3. So that tells me that the slope of this line is 4. Now that I have that slope, I'm done with all that. This is all excess information that I don't need anymore because I am looking for something that is perpendicular, which tells me that my slope has to be the opposite reciprocal of this. So now this is excess. We don't need it because we have our points, we have our slope, and now it's just a matter of plugging them in. Y minus 10 equal to mx minus 4. Clean it up, distribute. So if I take this and distribute it, I would have y minus 10 equal to negative 1/4 times x. And then when I multiply negative 1/4 times a negative 4, that gives me a positive 1. So I would add 10. And when I do that, I get the equation of the line that is perpendicular. It would be perpendicular to, so this is the equation of my line that is perpendicular to this up here, to this line, and goes through this coordinate, 410. All right, so hopefully you can now, given an equation, hopefully you can take that equation and come up with another equation that is either parallel or perpendicular to that original line.